Hello and welcome back to the Game of Muscle YouTube channel where we're live and we're back in the old Assetto Corsa from 2014 to 2017. We're here and we're going to be on Sim Racing System. We've got the 8 PM Game of Muscle race, which is in an hour and 20 minutes or so. But before that takes place, we've got the Game of Muscle server, or a Game of Muscle server up that you guys can join if you want to take part and practice and get some laps in before we actually go to the Sim Racing System race. Now, the Sim Racing System race, as I say, starts at 8 PM. It's 1 hour and 11 minutes away. And the server that's currently racing, the practice server, is called Game of Muscle SRS Practice. Get yourselves in there, get yourselves a car, and let's get some laps going. Hello everybody in the chat. There we go. I think we're good. Just wait for some people to join the chat, join the server, and we'll get some laps going. There's no password on this server, so you should just be able to join straight in. I might need to tweak my steering rotation here. Hi, Rob. I'm going to have to dial our brain into Assetto Corsa physics here. I'm playing a lot of project cars too. Burned H has joined the server, there we go. Someone's managed to find it at least. So we'll try and get a little bit of practice in. We've got a format for this server is, I think it's 4 laps for the race and then 20 minutes quali. You can do. You could do if you want to. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Give it a quick restart. Restart the old session. I'm streaming Crimson Links, and it's easier to stream in 2D with my current system. Hopefully we'll get a 1080 Ti soon to be able to stream in VR. Until then, the old-fashioned style is what we've been using. Oh! Miguel Almeida, give us a little tap on the shoulder there. Hi, Doug. So as you guys may have gathered, we're at Silverstone here. I'm currently moving the mouse all over the screen. Alright, Crimson Links. Nice one. I was going to pick up the bit. Oh, you're not anymore. You changed your mind. Hi, Doug. I was going to pick up some tea. Oh no, Twining's every day. Top salesman of the year, Game of Muscle. Oh, you still are in a week. Where are you picking it up from? If you get it from Amazon, use our link underneath the video. It's under the stream as well. If you buy anything from Amazon, use our link. I get money, so that's always good. It's good for me. They've actually changed the design of the HTC Vive since the version I've got, because I got the very first one. They've actually made it lighter, and they obviously sell the head strap and stuff separate. Hi HCM FPL. So we've got coffee by the side of us at the moment, no tea, because I'm just finishing this coffee, and then we'll be going back to tea bags. But just a second ago, I almost smashed my TV. I couldn't get my pedals to register properly in the game. Like the strength of them was too weak. It turned out I'd moved the sensitivity dial on the pedals by accident. So I was lifting the table that I've got my TV resting on, and my TV just started falling over onto the direct drive wheel. I just caught it just before it would have landed middle first on the sharp edge of the wheel. That would have been a smashed TV. Yeah, that's a really good idea actually, especially for the Vive, because there's quite a few with like dead pixels and weird issues, and HTC are terrible for warranties, so yeah, getting it from a retail store might actually be a good idea. I mean, I bought mine directly from HTC, which was a bad idea. Amazon's probably alright, but yeah, retail store's probably the most convenient if you've got one near you. I mean, I don't get any money from it, so I really shouldn't be. I really shouldn't encourage you. But I definitely think in the UK we don't have. Well, I don't think we've got Micro Essential. I assume you're in the States. But Dixon's were a good place to get Vives from in terms of warranty. And I know someone had problems with it, and they got theirs from Dixon's. They just took it there and got a replacement. Still having tea. Oh dear, we got. It's so weird how every driving simulator is different, like in the feel and the approach. It's strange how you sort of have to dial yourselves into the each sim. I'm going to turn the forcing back down a touch here. Actually, else will be exhausted. I get quite a good feel from Project Cars 2. I've actually got it alright now. It depends on the settings, to be honest. It depends on how you set it up and the wheel you're using and the cars. Hi Rapster. I think the update's just subtle stuff. In AC. It's really weird actually, going from sim to sim. It is really weird. Like AC actually, it does, relative to Project Cars 2, it does actually feel understeery, weirdly. And it's not, the thing is, it isn't actually more understeery than Project Cars 2. So in terms of the actual grip, I think AC has more grip than Project Cars 2, but it does feel as if it's more understeery. Because I I've always had that from a lot of people that have gone to AC from other simulators. They always say, oh, AC understeers, understeers, understeers. And I've never really felt that, but I can kind of see that actually through the force feedback, how you could perceive it as understeering. I'm not sure what effect it is that causes it. Hi, Francisco Pera, welcome to the stream. I see a death crash. Yeah, I need to sort out YouTube with the uploading after the streams. I think because we stream for like 8 hours, it gets messed up a little bit. Because what often happens is it uploads just 2 hours, then it updates it again and again and again until it actually has the final stream. But I turn the auto upload off because you get people commenting on stuff with timestamps. Then the video would correct itself when the timestamps would be wrong. Yeah, I don't think it's Carlo. I don't think there's anything wrong with AC's physics. What I'm on about is the perception that people tend to have. You do notice if you play driving simulators with a direct drive wheel, it definitely changes your perception of the car's mass and understeer because it's so weighty. You get a really good feel of grip. That's why a lot of people think of iRacing as ice. They go ice racing, but I never really got that perception playing with a direct drive wheel. The King of Simulation's back, Drift Buddy. I do love AC. I'm a huge AC fan. I'm so glad we just got more Sims to play, to be honest. I'm really enjoying Race Room, really enjoy AC, really enjoy Project Cars 2. I do enjoy the multiplayer in iRacing. I don't enjoy the way they sell it, but iRacing is pretty good at times. It's good times to be sim racing. This car's super stable in AC. It's really hard to lose back end. We've got mammoth traction control. Val, I think that's like low speed handling, which is pretty irrelevant. That's like under 15 miles an hour. I think AC handles tight corners pretty well. Maybe some of the cars you can kind of lose control on some of the corners on Red Bull Ring, for example, in ways that might not be realistic. But you know, I don't know. For the most part, I find AC super forgiving at low speed, or no different to reality, to what I've seen in reality. So I don't know. To be honest, the more you play driving simulators, the more you know, if you play all of them, the more you just sort of respect how insane they are as pieces of art, as you know, as games, just fantastic bits of software. It's easy to be like hypercritical about stuff, and in the end, it's like, well, you're not you personally, but people complaining aren't developing the software themselves, and complaining is not going to make it get any better or different, really, unless you put forward a really good explanation or can program yourself or are prepared to do modding. There's no real point complaining, is there? It's not going to do anything. Says me, who complains all the time online. I'm just a hypocrite. Jumping from one sim to is not ideal. I don't know. I think jumping from sim to sim is actually a good idea because what it does is you learn how to adapt to the quirks in different simulators. And if you were sort of concerned with real world driving, identifying those quirks and knowing how to do it is in some ways similar to the quirks of different cars, I'd have thought, in reality. Maybe not so much. Well, in some ways not. But I like jumping from sim to sim. I like enjoying the different force feedback of the various sims. Stream shouldn't be down. It should be good. Refresh. It's YouTube having a bit of a drunken sesh. Let's tweak my force feedback, I think, in AC now. This is what happens. Yeah, it's a shame they don't give more base content in iRacing, because they're kind of mixed. If you did both oval and road, the base content would actually be quite good, but if you only do oval or you only do road, sorry, then it's a bit, you know. And I think they are totally separate types of racing, aren't they? Most people that do oval racing don't necessarily do road racing. Does your steering wheel cover up the on-screen? Well, exactly. Not really, because this is a sort of temporary solution that I'm just using for whilst I'm streaming at the moment. If this was my setup with the monitor rather than using VR, what I'd do is the screen would be literally right by the end of my wheel, and it would line up one to one. The TV's too high, really, so, and the scale's slightly off, the field of view slightly off, but I'm not too fussed because it's not my it's not my proper setup, if that makes sense. Whoa! That'll be £150,000, please. What car is this? I think it's part of a DLC. It's a Lotus 311. I need a biscuit. I've only got bananas here. This is a disaster. We've got a cup of coffee and bananas. Might make some scones later. Try and get some good laps in. Keep those bananas for later. 10 out of 10 driving. 100 out of 100, all in driving. Hi BRT, how you doing? Did you get my message on Discord? You missed out, BRT, on... I didn't have your affiliate link. You missed out on a £100. I bought a new hard drive. I bought a 4TB hard drive because I'm fed up of running out of space for my videos. Turns out 6TB isn't enough. We need more space. 6TB inside of my computer, and I've got 4TB, no, 3.5TB external. But I'm gonna move a ton of data around and reset everything. It'd be nice to have a big fresh, probably end up with about 2.5–3 TB fresh space. We'll get rid of one of our old hard drives. You couldn't, no, I needed to get it. I wanted to get my order in because I couldn't get Amazon Prime on it, so I had to order it as soon as possible. I'd looked, I couldn't see it. Sorry, you probably lost out on like £2 or something. I'll make sure, I've got to buy some other stuff, so I'll make sure I buy that with your link. Don't you worry. Hi Sebastian! First ever. I don't actually, there probably is some adult content on one of them, but it's not from recent, it'll be from, what I've always done is, my sort of hard drive routine, I don't know if other people do this, but I found it works really well. From my very first computer, every time I upgrade a hard drive, I normally keep onto them for a long time, but every time I buy a new hard drive, it's normally double or 2.5 times the space of my old hard drive. And if the old hard drive is older than a year, 2 years old, sometimes 3 years old, but once it gets past about 2.5 years, what I try to do is copy that old hard drive, all the data off the old one, onto the new one, and just take the old hard drive out. And I used to then put that old hard drive in a separate box external with non-vital data on it, or sometimes back it up, but I don't bother doing that anymore. But basically what it means is I never have a hard drive for more than sort of 3 years. So it's hard drives are a lot less likely to fail within 3 years. If they're not broken within 6 months or a year, they're normally rock solid anyway. So yeah, and it's actually served me pretty well doing that. And then if I do keep hold of old hard drives in my computer, I tend to put multiple backups of stuff. Like I've got quite a lot of photography that I wouldn't want to lose, so I back that up internally. I've got two backups of that internally, and then whoops, and then I've got 2 separate external backups. Yeah, I got Western Digital because I tend to find them to be quite good. The thing is with hard drives is you know, you hear stories from, I've heard nightmare stories from all of them, and it just depends if you're unlucky. A data center recently did a report on them, and I think they had good results with Western Digital in particular. But you know, it depends what you're using them for, the temperatures you're using them in. Basic home use isn't normally stressing hard drives that much. And yeah, I've always found with hard drives, and this seems to be the case with friends of mine as well, is that, you know, if a hard drive doesn't have problems within a year, it will probably be fine for 10. Unless you've got like voltage issues. Yeah, that's why Jack Carl always back things up. I always have stuff backed up onto 3 different things, and then super vital stuff I try and back up online as well. Because if that's the one thing that I always thought, if, you know, if I was burgled and I lost all, you know, stuff was stolen, I'd be pissed off, but I wouldn't mind too much. It's if you lose, like, you know, sort of art and things, like someone stole all my music, all my photography, that'd be upsetting. Whoa, bollard attack! How exciting is data storage though? I always think it's really funny when you buy a hard drive, it really is like the dullest, one of the dullest things you can buy. It's not exactly exciting, is it? Oh, more storage space, woo! £100 for more storage. Nabbed a hard drive out of the old skybox. Yeah, I always find the best thing to do, you just have redundancy there. If you back up your files on multiple places, you're good. So yeah, what we're saying about adult content, from when I was like 18 or so, I've copies of my Windows. There'll be dodgy low-res videos on that. But you know, these days there's no real need to store adult content. The joke doesn't really stand anymore. Maybe the need will come back with HD VR. Who knows? For me, it's literally the recording videos though, just game captures and stuff, and I'm deleting files all the time. But sometimes it's nice to keep high quality video recordings of certain things. The stuff we used to download on 56k, and be like, whoa, there's a half-naked woman, whoa. I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, we found like adult playing cards that had pictures of naked women on them. They weren't even particularly erotic, but you know, they were naked women. Pre-internet days, back in day when we got adult images, fountain playing cards. Oh dear, dating myself. Let's download some arousing text files, guys. AOL dial-up, oh no. My first girlfriend had AOL. That should have been a sign. I remember going on a computer. It was a parent's computer, and it had all the like Yahoo taskbar, AOL. You've got mail. All the crap all over the screen. The AOL browser. Oh my god. AOL Instant Messenger. I'm like, come on. Use ICQ or what's it called? MIRC. She was a noob. What a noob. Choo Choo Rocket on the Dreamcast. Yeah, I had that. MSR, Choo Choo Rocket, Sonic, Crazy Taxi. Dreamcast was awesome. Well, you used to have hundreds of AOL CDs. It made money for them though. They only discontinued it like 2-3 years ago. AOL was so slow though, because it would still be on dial-up 56k, but it'd be worse than 56k, because I know loads of people that had AOL, and then I'd use like CompuServe plus net, and I would dial up random ones that my parents didn't know about. I'd use like to connect to Wireplay, play Midtown Madness over 56k by connecting to Wireplay and Air Attack. Amazing. Red Alert 2. Oh, do you remember Tiberian Sun? That was, I remember modding Tib Sun, and I remember modding Red Alert 2 because, well, it wasn't really modding, but you could edit the text file so that you could get nukes instantaneously, and then you could create like a domino effect of nukes going across the map. And you with Tib Sun, you could just edit the sprites, so you'd like do our own vehicles and things. Oh dear. And Need for Speed 2. I don't know. You might need to double check your account. You might need to make sure you're using a real name. I don't know why it wouldn't be working. Often it's because your account's not being verified. Hitting up McDonald's. Oh, get some cardboard burgers in your tummy. I tell you what's really nice. I said when I was younger I used to work at McDonald's. You get the McDonald's chocolate milkshake. McDonald's milkshakes are American milkshakes where they're like made out of ice creamy type stuff, not like an English milkshake. But what you do is you get the large McDonald's cup, you fill it half with the chocolate milkshake, and then you fill the rest of it with boiling water, and you end up with a really nice like hot chocolate, and it tastes better than the actual hot chocolate. It's like a hot chocolate milkshake. It's an amazing drink. They're not. I don't think they're allowed to make it for you, but I used to make that all the time for myself as to work there. Oops, sorry. Oh dear. Sorry. I'm in Project Cars 2 braking mode. We'll probably play some Forza with Jimmy later. Yeah, we're doing this race, and I've got Forza installed. I'm not loaded it up yet, but it's downloaded. It should be downloaded. Yeah, some people had dial-up for ages. I got DSL reasonably soon, to be honest, but you know, like pre-2000, I think. Maybe it was like 2001 we got dial-up, DSL. But DSL was only 96 kilobytes. The main thing with DSL was that you had the frequency splitter, so you could always. Well, you wouldn't be bloody disconnected when someone called your house phone for a start, but you know it was always on internet. That was the big thing. That meant you could connect to FTP servers and leech all day long, then go to school with your burnt CDs. I've downloaded AVP. Does anyone want a copy? I've not played Forza yet. I don't know. I've not played it apart from the demo. 90, yeah, it must have been 98, 99 when we got DSL. I lived in a small town, not a city, so it took a while for DSL to come about. Telly West. Oh, because Telly West did cable, didn't they? I think. Let's not get mixed up. Don't worry about your English. It's not important. Probably speak better than I type. Oh, you're talking about your name. If you're going to use a fake name, use like a Portuguese name. That'll fool him. But it's better to use a real name because it just makes it more authentic. Whoa! Whoa! Minna rating's separate to sim racing system. Sim racing system's a totally separate system. It's the sim racing system. It's not the Minna rating system. It has its own ranking in it, but and that'll class you in. That'll put you in different splits for the sim racing system race. But to be honest, this is the last race of my season. For this season, and then next week we start the new season. I missed a bunch of my races for this season. We're a bit over the place, but we're going to get back into it. Reading whilst driving. If anybody learns anything from my streams, it's like you don't want to text and drive in a real car, though. I'm starting to get back into the AC handling here. AC has less lateral shuffle than Project Cars 2, and the back in some ways with this car, I mean this car's got traction control, but even then the back's less willing to come out in some ways. It's weird, it's strange, because I'd say in many ways these lower spec cars are actually quite similar in both AC and Project Cars 2 in many ways. But they are actually different in a lot of ways as well. It's just strange how driving simulators can actually be very, very close in a lot of ways, and yet still quite different. BRD wheel. I never played GPL properly. I think I played it briefly, but I never really got into it. I played Toka 2. I know. Toka 1 I played quite a bit, and I played Nigel Mansell Grand Prix on the Atari ST quite a bit. Played MSR a fair bit as well on the Dreamcast. I think slow cars are probably easier to simulate, I think, in some ways. Or maybe they're not easier to simulate, but I think because slow cars tend to, everything happens slower, you have more of an opportunity for force feedback wheels to pick up the suspension travel. There is suspension travel, and more suspension travel, for example, than a tight race car. So there's more to send to the player through the force feedback, and the force feedback wheel doesn't have to work as quickly to stay in line with the simulator. So yeah, I think in general, slower cars tend to work better with consumer equipment. First time I saw one of your videos, I thought you had at least purchased from YouTube. Oh, that'd be nice. It's not really about the number of subscribers though, it's about having a good audience. As I say, I've been really fortunate. The people that watch the channel, or the engaged users at least, are really nice people, to be honest. I don't get that many troll comments. I did on my Forza video, got a lot of the comments telling me that I need to die and that I'm an idiot on the Forza video, but you know, that happens. But yeah, for the most part, like for example our Discord that we've set up, tons of people have joined that, and everyone's like just chilled out, all seem to have the same sort of weird sense of humour, you know. And I think if you got your some YouTubers are fortunate and they do have good audiences, but others have a lot of subscribers and they've just, you know, they're just full of trolls. So there's not really a sort of, it's not really a community, but you know what I mean. So I would rather have like a smaller audience that's engaged and really likes what we're doing than a massive audience that doesn't really care. Okay, what would it say? Well, I just killed someone. There we go. Game of Muscle trolled him. I know, he's right next to us. I wouldn't say what we produce is always top quality, but it's alright. Yeah, it was the Forza video. I said don't play the game with a wheel, and they're all calling me a noob. They're like, oh, you can't play with a wheel, that's why. So, okay, fair enough. To be fair to them though, I haven't actually tried it with a wheel, so some of them had a point. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get it working with a wheel. I didn't want to buy the collector's edition for £80. Glenn Hipperson, hello. With Sim Racing System Races at 8 o'clock, so you've got 20-30 minutes or so to sign up. Oh dear, missed that. And there we go, Adolf Hitler gives us a penalty. Hitler Whiting's moved from Project Cars 2 back to AC. Ridella. I'd say I like the track cars in Project Cars 2. I like the vintage cars. I don't like Formula cars in Project Cars 2. Well, I still like them, but I don't like them as much. I much prefer Project Cars 2 general handling to iRacing in many ways, though. But Zero Skill Just Luck was telling me about some of the GT cars and the newer cars in iRacing, saying they've got a lot more ply on the limit. So I need to try them out, because that's what I really like in simulators, where you can. I like to be able to overdrive them, or you know, have that as a choice or as a safety net. I like that, and in my mind that's realistic. I don't like cars where they just lose it. For example, I do like the Skip Barber in iRacing. I think it's quite good. It's a bit slow, but there's a reply to it that I think in some ways is quite realistic. Can you stream while playing with VR? I can do, yeah, but it doesn't work so well. It's a little bit complicated. So what I'm going to be doing in regards to streaming in VR in the future is hopefully we can upgrade my computer. I'm waiting to see if MSI send us a graphics card to review. But on top of that, I'm looking to be setting up a separate PC for streaming as well. So I'll send the video through the network using the new... there's a new codec that's come out that means you don't have to use a capture card and lets you send the audio and everything through your network cable, which is a lot easier than having to use a capture card. Or it's not easy, it's just more convenient. So there's a whole bunch of things we need to do really to actually stream in VR in a way that's very comfortable and that lets me see the chat and, you know, has everything work. Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it, BRT? Because like you say, it isn't every other sim. I'm just going to put my shorts on, guys. We're getting hot in here. Whoops. How were the volume levels there? Were they all right? Hi, Robert Jensen. Oh, shoes back on. Woo. Boiling. 2 laps with a direct drive wheel and I'm cooking myself, but I need a biscuit. This is the problem. You buy biscuits, you eat them, you get fat. You don't buy biscuits, you don't get fat, but you want biscuits, you can't win. You're not allowed to enjoy multiple simulators. The rule is you're only allowed to like one sim. You're only allowed one sim at a time, and you have to religiously talk about that simulator in the forums for the competitor of that simulator, and you know, you also have to post comments on every single video relating to simulators as to why your sim's the best sim that you've chosen. That if you don't do that, you're not a real sim racer, I'm afraid, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Kitten 11977, hello. Really catchy name. Welcome everyone else to the stream that's just tuned in to Gamer Muscle Videos, your place for sim racing. We're in sim racing, well, we're not in sim racing system, we'll be in sim racing system doing a Gamer Muscle race. Then we'll be doing some Forza. I've not even launched it yet. It's installed, but I've not launched it. Yeah, so we'll be doing some Forza with Jimmy Broadbent Bob later. We're just chilling out really, but for now we're just practicing the lap for our race, which takes place at 8. If you've got a sim racing system account, you can join it by just signing up in game. If you haven't got a sim racing system account, you'll have to register on a sim racing system. It's totally free. Free as in absolutely no pennies expended whatsoever, and then you're golden like a goose that's laid a golden egg. It might take 2 or 3 days for them to verify your account, but off you go into sim racing system. And this is the last race of this season, my season for this season, and I missed a bunch of them, so this season was a bit of a write-off. But we've got some more DTM happening next season for our next sim racing system season. It should be good. Good side-by-side racing inbound, I think. There's some mandatory videos to watch. I'm going to go in blind, Dave Co. I'm going to experience it afresh, like a newborn. I want the full, authentic Microsoft stamping on my head experience. Any other way wouldn't be right. Yeah, I don't think AC is a particularly good game on console, unless you just want to do some hot lapping in the cars. To me, it doesn't make that much sense as a console game. Maybe it's a budget console game, but it's the mods that really have made AC. I mean, it's a fantastic simulator at its core. Really nice features, runs fantastic, but really what makes AC is that solid core and the fact that it runs really well on PC, combined with VR and the mods and stuff like Sim Racing System. If I'd had the PC version and it didn't have the mods, it would be like Netcar Pro. It's like, sure, it's amazing, but you know, the problem is there's only what, like 5 or 6 tracks in it by default. I don't think so. You've got Race On the Xbox 360, that's about it. They might be releasing GTR 3 on the consoles by Sector 3. Oh, both went a bit off-road there. I just got the standard version, yeah, because I don't see there doesn't seem to be that much point to the VIP version. Well, I just didn't want to spend 80 quid on it. I know I'll probably get that money back from reviews, and I probably actually lost money not covering it straight away. But you know, it's Forza. I don't have high hopes. going in a bit biased, you know, I've got a bit of the sim snob thing going on, but the demo seemed to have some issues, so I did play GTR 2, yeah, I used to play with an Xbox 360 controller. Thanks to Racing Cookies. Welcome to the streams as well. This guy's doing a drift on my corner. I always thought the point of Forza was it's an arcade game. You know, not arcade, but well, pretty arcade. But it just worked well with the gamepad and had a single player. But from what I understand, it doesn't even do that now. We'll see, though. We'll see, boys and girls. We'll see. "24 minutes until the race." Whoop. Tons of non-racing. I'm just gonna sort something out. Oh. Yeah, what's funny is Forza fans get really offended if you say it's like an arcade game, because I think Forza's marketed really aggressively as being a simulator, and it's like, well, I guess it does simulate some things. You could use it to learn certain principles of driving, I guess. So it is a simulator in some regards, but combined with view buttons. Brake bias front, brake bias rear, there we go. Oh, hang on. Door, 1 second. Hello guys. Let's get some chocolate. What was that you're saying? Yeah, I always find, you know, this is why I think with the whole Simcade thing. Hi, Rodrigo Perez. My view is, this is why I think Simcade as a word doesn't really help, or it doesn't really do anything. Like either it's a simulator that simulates what you want, or it doesn't simulate what you want, or it's either a good or a bad simulator for whatever task you want. Because, you know, I don't know if you can really call Forza an arcade game, or, you know, it's not really Simcade. I mean, maybe they're, I don't know. I guess it's got, I don't know, maybe they're honestly trying to make something that's realistic. I don't think they are, to be honest. I think they're trying to make something that's realistic with a gamepad. So, it's a gamepad simulator, maybe that's a better word to use. Because it probably is more realistic with a gamepad than the other Sims played with a gamepad. Let's get back on that server. Because Forza is really nice how they do, it's not really Forza, but it's like Microsoft, the Xbox One, and the Forza integration. Oh, I can't get into the own server. But the Rumble on the Xbox One pad is really nice. Is it your email or your, I don't know. Can't remember. I think it's your alias that you set up for, that's why you need to use your real name. Yeah, I always found that Forza, in terms of capturing what it's like to drive a car with a gamepad in a realistic way, I think Forza does it the best. Oh, my server's full. Oh well. How long have we got? 20 minutes until Sim Racing System race. 32 people registered so far, which is awesome. But even with you know, even with like AC or even with AC or R Factor 2 or Project Cars 2 or iRacing or whatever, it depends what you wanted to simulate would be why you would load it up. I could see why a race team, you know, like a small budget race team, would want to use R Factor 2 maybe to test certain aspects of a setup or tyre temperature or certain conditions or something. Or why a race driver might particularly pick one sim over another. Maybe it's got better laser scan tracks. Maybe it's got a specific car that captures the car that they're going to be driving better, or captures what they want better. So, you know. I got in Erwin Vandermoor. Thing is, as well, what's funny is if you play with a consumer wheel, not a direct drive wheel, unless you're driving like road cars, anything that's faster than, say, I don't know, like a fast road car, the consumer force feedback wheels can't keep up. They don't line up with what the real world car will be putting out. Anyway, so it's fundamentally abstract with those wheels regardless. Simulators, so fun. You say that, Tuna No Crust. I know of Formula 1 teams that have used R Factor Pro, but they've used like essentially the stock stuff and was essentially the same as R Factor 1. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't think you get something that's that different. What would be different with those type of solutions is that it'll integrate in with their systems, and they'll be able to test their components. They'll be able to test specific setup stuff. You know, specific things for their one car They'll put all their development into that specific car. The sim will all be set up perfectly for that one thing. So they'll be able to get usable data from it. In terms of the actual end drive realism, that's probably not going to make much, you know, it wouldn't be that different from what you've got in the other simulators. In terms of the general end drive. I mean, it's not the case. It's not going to be the case that the programmers for a single Formula 1 team, for example, are going to magically be better than the programmers at, say, iRacing, or the programmers at ISI that originally did their initial tyre models, might have you, or Kunos, or, you know. I don't think they would, Glenn. This is the thing, because it, not necessarily, because reality is so different in a real car compared to a simulator with G-forces. It's a fundamentally different activity. So in some ways, a real race driver will think of even the best simulator, even if hypothetically a simulator was totally spot on, to a really experienced race driver, it will feel utterly broken to them because there's no G-forces, and real-world drivers use G-forces as a well, no, I would have thought all of them, but they use G-forces as a fundamental way to handle and understand what the car's doing. You take that out, it really breaks what they're used to. So even the best simulators just feel wrong to someone that's maybe been doing racing from the age of 4 in a go-kart all the way up, only ever experiencing real-world driving. So you actually get a lot of disagreement with real-world drivers over what's more or less realistic. I've talked to quite a few race drivers about driving simulators, and you know, some of them are like, oh, you know, they're terrible. Some are like, oh, this is really spot on. Some prefer one sim over another. Exactly the same as the sim racing users. But the point I was making is, simulators are fundamentally abstract because they don't have the G-forces than being in a real-world car. And even with a direct drive wheel, I mean, direct drive wheel really helps make it closer, but in some ways it's, you know, it's still fundamentally abstract because you can't drive from what the car's telling you through your body, through the G-forces. I mean, can you, just as a basic example, can you imagine a skateboard in a driving simulator, right? And how hard it would be to drive a skateboard, something as simple as a skateboard. I know it's not a motorised car, but you think in real life, you can stand on a skateboard, even as someone that's only had 2 hours practice, and you can ride a skateboard down a hill, turn around corners and balance on it because of G-forces and, you know, what your inner ear's picking up. And riding a skateboard is way harder than pushing a car around a racetrack to a basic level. So, yeah. From race drivers I've spoken to, I've spoken to about 8 or so real world race drivers. The main things they look for in a simulator is they really appreciate the sort of track detail, the laser scan aspect of a track, and using a simulator to practice the focused aspect of driving. And a lot of drivers also seem to really appreciate the online, the competitive practice that you can get in iRacing, because you can practice racecraft in that to a high level. That's what most real-world race drivers tend to look for in a simulator. They don't, of the ones I've talked to, they're not particularly that critical of the underlying tyre model. Some might say, oh yeah, it should be more forgiving. And I think most race drivers are probably in that direction of simulators shouldn't be ridiculous to drive on the limit. But yeah, you know, real world race drivers will disagree about which sim is more or less realistic as much as sim racers do from ones I've talked to. The direct drive wheels are not a gimmick at all. There's a reason why all the professional simulators use direct drive wheels, or if not, they use at least a well set up Fanatec Club Sport V2 at a minimum. I don't know how it would be a gimmick. It lets you, the direct drive wheel lets you, it's expensive, fair enough, and it might be overkill for a gaming device because it's still abstract than the real world driving, but it does at least let you set up the steering as close as you possibly could with a simulator. So it's not a gimmick. That'd be like me saying the T300 is a gimmick over the G25, or the G25 is a gimmick over a Mad Catz whatever game wheel, you know. Got a little race coming up before ours. So direct drive wheels aren't a gimmick. How dare you? I can see how you could think that, but honestly, it's not. Well, someone's talking about Microsoft headsets, so we'll have to try them out when they come to market. Yeah, well, the thing with modern road cars is, and the thing with force feedback wheels in the simulator, you tend to rely on getting the bum feel through the steering wheel, because that's the only way you can feel it in a simulator, unless you had a motion rig, and most motion rigs don't actually give you bum feel. It's all about the bum feel, boys. So gimmick doesn't equals too expensive. That doesn't make sense. Gimmick doesn't mean that. You've just redefined what gimmick means. It's yeah. That's not what gimmick means. I don't know how you're defining the word gimmick. But yeah, it's the thing with force feedback wheels is they give you, in an abstract form, the feel of the car through your hands rather than through your body. So no time to complete this race. Oh well, we'll do the start of it. I don't know what the actual definition is of gimmick. I mean, I know what the word gimmick is, but not in terms of an absolute sense of it. It's the kind of thing where people use the word gimmick just as a derogatory term without actually like. Naked girls are waiting. Oh, fantastic! I believe that, guys. That's a good link. I can guarantee you that link will get you to naked girls. You know, for sure. Thanks, Mr. Bot. So yeah, so the point someone was saying about road cars being numb, yeah. But you get forces, like, it's funny how even in a really crap road car, the brake pedals can be awful, absolutely terrible, but when you push the brake in a road car just from, like, say 30 miles an hour, it feels more responsive than the best simulator pedals you could ever have, because you immediately feel the G-forces of the braking happening. But yeah, obviously in the simulator you don't get G-forces, so you have to look for it through other means to give you that information and feel. And either you can learn that through the visuals, or you can set up force feedback wheels without consumer wheels or direct drive wheels to sort of approximate it in certain ways, or you just do without and you learn. Direct drive wheels are actually very well. This one I'm using, the SW20, is actually really cheap for what you actually get. Like in terms of the core components of it, like the guy that sells it, he's selling it as a kit. I think he's adding like £200 or so. I don't know his actual cost, but he's not adding a ton of money to the actual physical cost of the small maze motor, Simucube, the box, the cables, and everything else. And it comes with a warranty and everything. You literally, if you bought all the bits yourself separately, it would cost you pretty much the same price, because you wouldn't be buying it in bulk. So I don't know how you could say an OSW is overexpensive. It might be too expensive for your budget, that's fine, but given that it probably will last forever, probably won't break, and is absolutely fantastic, especially if you like driving more racy cars and driving simulators. Has no cog in. It's totally smooth and lets you set up the wheel exactly how you want. You know, I don't think it is expensive because it lasts forever. It's just like, I don't know anybody that's had a direct drive wheel break on them. And well, they've been out for like 2 years now. And most people I know run them at, they don't even run them at half power. They're running them at like 15% and they're more than happy with them. So, oh, I can't drive. That's me. Direct drive wheel won't make you a good driver though. There's that. There is that to keep in mind. Yeah, the point I was making to you, though, Chris, with the brake is they might have terrible brake feel, but when you push the brake, the car slows down. You can feel the G-forces. Even with a car that's absolutely knackered, you know, even with like a 1980s banger, you put the brake on, assuming the brakes actually work, like the actual, assuming things are connected properly, you feel it straight away. You feel the car slowing down. Brake pedal could be dangling by a cord. You feel it. You might have loads of travel before it actually pushes the fluid and the brake disengage, you know. But if the car's slowing down, you feel it. Do you get what I mean? And it will feel that feels better than really high quality sim pedals. Just the feeling of the G-forces. Oh my god, this car's knackered. I've totally knackered the tyres in. We'll get one lap in here. This is a fun warm-up race. A direct drive wheel might make you worse. It won't. It might do if you run it on really high force feedback settings. Sure. If you're talking about doing alien laps, for example, like competitive sim racing laps, then yeah, but you could do competitive sim racing laps with like a driving force GT in most contemporary simulators, because that's more about replicating a set group of actions. It's like playing DDR or something. It's about being super precise, but you probably want no force feedback at all. So you know, you could do that with as I say, the cheapest force feedback wheel on the market. But if you wanted to, you could turn the force feedback off on a direct drive wheel, and arguably the encoder in it is going to be more accurate. So objectively speaking, it should be more precise, but it wouldn't necessarily be needed. But you're not buying a direct drive wheel to do alien. You know, you're not buying a direct drive wheel to be a faster sim racer. You're driving it because it's more fun. We're not sim racing. Well, technically I am, but most people aren't sim racing to make money out of it. You know, they're not. Apart from like what, 20 people that do sim racing for esports, and the 10 or so, maybe 30 people that do sim racing videos, you're not. And even then, it's only like what, 10 or so people that do the esports that actually benefit from the equipment, or you know, that would matter. Oh, we better go to the sim racing system race. So yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion about direct drive wheels as to why you'd get one and what's good about them and what's the point of them. You buy a direct drive wheel because you can get for example, you can mirror the feel of a GP2 car, or you could set it up exactly as you want. It has nice rotation. If anything, it has faster rotation than a real wheel car, so you have to tune it down a bit to make it more realistic in that regard. But the point is, once you've got a direct drive wheel, you never need to get a better wheel, realistically. I mean, maybe you could justify it if you're mental, but, you know, something like the SW20 with the SimuCube, there's no real reason that you would ever need to upgrade it that I can think of, because it's overkill for sim racing. If anything, a company needs to come out with a direct drive wheel that's half as good and half the price, but still using like a servo without cogging and what have you. But there you go. The direct drive. I need to be paid by like whoever. There's no money in it in direct drive wheels because it's all like a hobbyist thing. Yeah, washing machines use different motors. But I do like to joke that we're sat here playing with a washing machine motor. A washing machine is utterly incomparable to a direct drive force feedback wheel. I mean, just because something... Why is this not starting for a start? Just because... oh, there we go. It's got a motor in it, you know, doesn't mean it's the same thing. And even in the servo motors and stepper motors and all the motors on the market, All of them can be different in different ways depending on how they're configured. Yeah. Paint your wheelbase to make it white. It's more close to a washing machine. The motors in the washing machines are typically like AC motors, aren't they? They're normally just metallic with bare with just openings on them for the cooling. The ones I've seen. Mind you, it's only expensive washing machines that have direct drive motors. I think most of them use like a belt system. Yeah, the servo motors are closer to what you get for like when you see those printing systems or those motorised arms that build cars. They use multiple servo motors and stepper motors and what have you. I mean, some people have. You can make a force feedback wheel out of anything with a motor in it, but you'll get different results depending on how, you know, what you use and how you set it up. I remember some of the early DIY force feedback wheels people were making where they were using lower power motors but then using planetary gear systems to increase the torque but keep it more direct driving feel. Yeah, there you go, the CNC motors. Yeah. My own washing machine. I actually use my the OSW I'm using. I use it to lift me, to drive me around the flat. Stop eating chocolate. No! I need the energy. Oh, the sun's come out, guys. Enjoy the weather. People don't like clicking the like button. I even put a little message at the bottom. I don't blame them. They're just casually, they've just stumbled across the channel by accident. I use my direct drive motor to blend my meat to make mincemeat. I just put the wheel on full rotation. I put the shaft on a blender and that's it. You could use it to make some mean bread. The motor I've got in my mixer is pants compared to this steering wheel. Buy many breadsticks. At least it won't rain. Yeah, it's a good point. This is why I like Assetto Corsa. That's a good point. The truth. Oh my god, why is this car suddenly sliding all of a sudden? What have I done to it? The real reason why I like Assetto Corsa is there's no risk of rain. That's why it's the best simulator in my opinion. It's the only sim where I'm safe from British weather attacking me. My washing machine motor has a quick release so I can swap it out if I want to race. You could get a washing machine drum and put it on the top of your steering wheel. Oh, thanks Rapster. Every day, I'm going to stop streaming because you keep donating to me every single day. I'm going to bankrupt you. I'll have a a guy in a suit's going to come round and he'll be like, excuse me, I'm representing Rapster. He would like his money back. Turns out he donated everything in his possession to your YouTube channel. Thank you, Rapster. Thanks for fueling the muscle. Rapster's the teabag supporter. He's doing a hostile takeover. He's buying all the Game of Muscle shares. Does 100% force feedback affect the lifespan of the wheel? Not if the wheel's designed properly, but you do sometimes find with the consumer wheels that they can overheat. But what they'll do, like the T300 for example, if it starts to overheat, the wheel will underclock it. It will turn its force feedback down. And with that was one of the big things that Thrustmaster did with the TSPC racer, is they put the power supply separate and they have better cooling, and they changed the motor so that it doesn't overheat even if you run it at maximum force feedback. So the only thing that I think with consumer wheels that can break them, or what I found puts wear on them, is if you run high force feedback and it's clipping all the time, and then you start yanking the wheel really harsh, that with consumer wheels will wear them out quicker than if you sort of work with it in a delicate. Buy breadsticks. Oh, thanks, Carl D'Souza. Thanks so much. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. I haven't had breadsticks for a long time. I like cheese sticks more than breadsticks. Buy breadsticks. I'll get some breadsticks just in your honour. Next time I go to the shop. Don't know why it's not come up on the screen. There you go. Thank you so much. That's it. Tea bags and breadsticks. We're good guys. Oh dear, we've got practice here. Almost finished. That's like Marks and Spencer's breadsticks. That's like £1. What's it? It's 70p. Is that American dollars? So it's like 70p per dollar. So it's like £1. Well, I don't know, £1.60 or so, or £1.50, £1.60. I don't know. I can't math. Can't math in my car. But that's Marks and Spencer's breadsticks. Sainsbury's breadsticks are only like 90p. It depends. Yeah, if they're luxury cheesy breadsticks, or if they're just plain ones. What is it? You always come in the chat and you like put honey in your tea. You should. It's constant. Put honey in your tea. Put honey in your tea. Honey in your tea. It's just constantly. I just be driving. Honey in your tea. Not putting honey in a tea. I'll put honey in my tea later, okay? Just for you, just in honour of Daffy Sky. I'll put bloody honey in my tea. I've got some squeezy honey. I don't think the T500 does Mad Hacks, but I've not tried it myself. But no, I don't think it does. You'd have to double check with Sony. Check the Sony forums for that. I remember there was a big argument over the PlayStation 4 not working with PlayStation 3 stuff, wheels and things. Hi, Cabby Tanium, welcome to the stream. It's going all right, you know. We're back in the old Assetto Corsa. Feels rather homely. We're going to be trying out Forza later. We're doing sim racing system race here. We've just got quali coming up. This is the last race of the L season that I totally missed, but it'll be interesting to see who wins. Probably Bern Hebelson. And we've got a fresh season coming up, but we're doing all right. Anyone using Imperial is an imperialist from Star Wars. Come on, Kunos. Get my mouse cursor off. Phantom Music. No, you don't. You're one of those music resellers. I think this is a fraud. We might do later, Kobe, because it's nice to drive P cars too with fans. So we might do, but I want to. Seeing as I bought Forza, I need to play it so I can get a review out on it. So I've installed it, and Jimmy B-Boy will probably join us, or we'll join in with him if he's still playing, if he's still awake, if he's not giving up on it. I only work for charities now, Game of Muscles and Nurses. There's another special charity. Whoa! Good driving, Game of Muscle. It's good that you've got all that expensive equipment to help you drive better. I know. I've not played it yet, Jack. Don't ruin it for me. Oh. I was expecting it to be better than... I was expecting it to be the best game I've ever played in my entire life. I was expecting it to be the new Grand Prix Legends. I was expecting it to be the new Wipeout. Alimentation? What's your alimentation? What's that? I don't know what that is. It's a totally different type of car, Robert Jansen. There's an Expo in AC that compares quite close. I've got a video on it. Have you seen it? Assetto Corsa versus Project Cars 2 Crossbow. Google it, and I do a reasonably poor job of explaining the differences. But hopefully it's an entertaining video, so you can go watch that if you want a comparison. I know what, you never lower your back dampeners. What? You don't do that. We're alright, we just need to warm the tyres up. Yeah, you put, I don't know if you're right or not, I was just making a funny. But we're just going with this default setup for now. We're just going to trundle to the end of the race, hopefully, finish in the top 3, I think. Oh, understeer there. Good. Take that a bit easier. Get in and drive type person. I get people that know what they're doing to do setups for me. The only setup changes I would tweak are gear length, tyres, and brake bias. Oh, steering lock, maybe and aero, but nothing, you know. Can't be bothered. We're getting too into it. Whoa, we have to be careful in this race not to lose the back of the car here. Back dampener action. I prefer to adjust my driving to the setup I've got. Make do with the setup. Driving so many cars, you could be just changing setups all day long instead of turning laps and having fun, you know. Unless it's the McLaren in Assetto Corsa, so that car's bananas out the box. That's a good point. We do have setup store. Setup supermarket with Dale Winton. It's all about the setup supermarket. This car has late corner understeer. Could do with having the back pop out more at the end of the corner. Probably turn traction control if we fix that. Plant that foot getting there, Larry B. I really want to get a PlayStation 4 and play that Wipeout HD collection, you know. I played it in the shop and it was really quite fun. We are on second to last. Watch out. I like the rumble strip sound in Assetto Corsa. Sounds like a plane when a plane lands. Sidekick. You can get race essentials and sidekick. Both can sort of compress a lot of the stuff into essential things. It's quite nice in VR. I'm going to try setup market setup once we've done this lap. Hopefully we can get put in the middle of the field with this lap. That is the risk you get with a setup store. Some setups are terrible, but you do get the advantage of the placebo effect. Okay, we've got a new PB there. We're in 10th place. Let's try setup supermarket. Oh shit. Oh god, why do people park their cars on the racing line? I hate them. Really inconsiderate. Right. Oh, the server's down. Sorry for the inconvenience. Well, that's a bit inconvenient. We were planning on using a setup for the race. Sorry, the setup market's run by the Ferrari Formula 1 team, and it's down just before the race starts. on the racing line as per usual. It's my trademark. It's how I intimidate my opponents, don't you? Don't be mean about my racing techniques. It's, you know, I constantly bring these next level methods to the game. You should just appreciate it. You should watch and learn. Chris, it's okay. Just stop on the racing line, why don't you? Ruined his hot lap. Tactical hot lap block. What a pro. What a legend. I'm such a legend, I was doing my quali with way too much fuel. Oh well. Yeah, it's a good way. It's like when it's like at Monaco when Schumacher binned it on the last corner. I've learnt from the best. This is Sim Racing System, big boy Mitch. You might, if you can listen carefully, you can hear music. That's not coming from the stream. I've actually installed a sound system into my Lotus 311. It added a couple of kilograms, but I can now listen to music whilst I drive, so I think it was well worth it. We're just waiting now. It's a waiting game. £2 for tea bags? Oh, I'm not sure about that. I might do. I'd consider it. If you streamed entertaining content, I'd consider it. I'd probably, I'd give you enough to buy a small box of Twinings. 10k watt amp in the boot with some cannons. Got some bass speakers, yeah. Well, the thing is, I had to get the door speakers installed. And I put some front speakers on the dash as well because I really wanted that sort of 5.1 surround sound. I put some shakers underneath the driver's seat as well, and then put some bass speakers in the boot. Aside from that, we put an LED kit underneath the side of the cars and on the wheel arches, because a Lotus 311 with LEDs, you know, again, it might make it a little bit slower, but it's what you need to really stand out. Box of floor sweepings. 35p for a box of Tesco's basic. Audi special. Oh, you got an F1 2017 ad. That's ironic. Because we know how much I like Codemasters games at the moment. Here we go. Get ready for the race, guys. Where did we qualify? At the back, probably. Here we go. We're in 14th place. Sim Racing System. Back in Assetto Corsa. Let's see how this goes. If we avoid getting smashed off the track, I think we're good here. I'm not a huge fan of Codemasters games since the disappointment of Dirt 4. I was really happy with Dirt Rally. They did a fantastic job. And then Codemasters went, we've done an amazing game. Let's not bother anymore. Hi, Javier Lucas. Lucis. I haven't, and there's no real point. Well, I have used it with my other wheels. I haven't bothered with this direct drive wheel because I'm perfectly happy with how it feels. And it's go, go, go. Whoops, bogged down. Cars behind us. That was a bad start. Forget you saw that, guys. Oh, Contact. We're still going though. Managed to collect it. Keep round the outside here and then the inside of the next corner. It's the safest place to be. Normally is. We're in the sandwich. Please don't squeeze us too much, guys. Squeeze from all angles here. We're still facing forwards. Managed to catch that. Okay, this should be an interesting corner. We'll brake early and see if these guys take each other out. 16th place. Easy does it. Back across the inside. James Tulmulty in 12th. Joe Anfonso in 14th. Keep on his tail. Happy times. Damage is on, yeah. But it's on slightly lower than, you know, it's not maximum. Let's take that sideways. I feel like you have to approach some corners if you're snowboarding. There you go. Kebab shop. 2 kebab shops. And that puts us in 13th place. Nice and easy. Let's work with the weight of the car through here. Thread it on through. Try and get to the front of the pack. Let's make this happen, boys. James Smolty in front of us. See his Lotus bouncing up and down. And we've got a car right on a tail. Chris Savant battling away. Probably don't want to be on the outside of this corner. I'll brake early and hope that he outbrakes himself and then go back to the inside. There we go. It's a bit tight. Let's give him a little bit of a tap. But it worked. Did a bit of a dummy. He's probably going to be back up our inside and drive right into us. Nope, we got away with it. Nice job. Up into 10th place there. I'll take it. Martin Kortman in front of us. Got 17 minutes to go. Pay to win OSW. Why catch the slide when your wheel can do it for you? We've still got a bunch of cars behind us. Try and get some speed through here without going over the limit. Once this car slides, you lose a lot of time, so as do a lot of cars actually, but have to work with it. Tightrope walking. There we go, it's better angle through there. Chris Savert is going to go for the pass. I'm going to defend on the left-hand side because you can't really pass on the right round here too easily. Oh, he's done it. He broke late, but he's backing off a bit there. He might have got it though. He's giving us a bit of a push. Nice driving though. He broke later. We broke too early. We could have broke a bit later. Nice driving by Chris Avert though. We had to brake a lot later to get through that. Oh, he's braking super early. I think a lot of people are timid through that corner. Thanks, Rapster. Just finally balance the car through there. Tiptoe. Come on. I seem to be going alright through these corners, but the straights I'm slow. Yeah, Heli Corsa is certainly handy, Robert Jansen. Look at the gaggle of cars behind us. We might be able to pit one of these guys on the last corner. There we go. Oh, fed through there. Thank you. Well, he's gone. He's just took another car with him as well, unfortunately. But it saves us having to do an overtake on the last corner. Saves us the dive bomb, I suppose. Let's try and get Chris Savert back. 9th place. Oh, don't penalty me, Kunis. That's alright. Slide it wide. We are catching with the front pack, which is nice. Whoa, don't tickle that sausage. Too hard. Just blow on the sausage. Traction control kicking in there. You can hear it gargling away. There we go. In the points, Kobe Tenium. Indeed we are. We're not in our magic 7th position though. The only position that matters in all sim racing. Oh! 8th place, Michael Janak has somewhat missed the break point there. Hopefully he doesn't lose control into us. Oh, come on, get the nose in. Lift off oversteer there, trying to get the nose kick in. Needs to come off it longer the first time. Shouldn't really be stabbing the accelerator like a Game of Thrones finale, but, you know. Let's try and get some good speed through it. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I had to back off a little bit there. Didn't want to get on the throttle and drive into him. I thought he was going to spin. Okay, so we should be able to pass him here because everyone's being... No, you dear God! Everyone's being slow. Braking too much. I just took him out there, but that was his fault for braking absurdly heavy in a place where you don't need to. Whoops-a-daisy. Take down. Sorry for the murder. I did try and avoid him. Avoid Silverstone. It's got salmonella. Well, we're in 9th place. I mean, I couldn't really avoid him. He broke way too early. Like, literally, probably like 5 meters before where you need to brake. And way too heavy. I couldn't... There's nothing I could do. I mean, I still punted him off. I did punt him off. There's no hiding it. But honestly, I was even ready to brake earlier. You know, just from watching the other drivers before, I was actually going to brake earlier than I would normally brake anyway. So I really couldn't have done much. I think it was his fault. Not his fault for me murdering him, but his fault for braking too early. There's only so much you can avoid. I was like when the AI I was like when the AI when you put them on too hard and you brake too fast and they rear end you. I was giving him the full single player experience. Failed brake test. Don't brake test a cross-channel ferry. That's the moral. We've got to try and catch up with these guys in front. We're half a second up. We are going faster ourselves. Still 12 minutes to go, so... What are we? 5.5 seconds from the next guys. If we keep pushing. On the brakes here, you see this car's a really nice oversteer on the brakes there. Just a little bit. So you can line the car up whilst you're on the brake. Really easy to feel out where the limit is. See, look, we're not braking until we get to that bit of curb. And even then, that was too aggressive and too early. I think we can carry a lot more speed through that. Picard's AI simulator, Alex Delacunu. Getting into a nice rhythm here. No doubt I'm going to violently lose control of the car now I've said that. Oh, try and do that corner without losing control. New PB, thank you. These corners, those two right-handers on Silverstone are really satisfying when you actually start to hook them up properly. Sausage tickle! Oh, tickle it! That felt good. I could just smell the sausage on the frying pan there. Oh dear, that wasn't good. Need to get on the throttle sooner. I'm trying. They've probably got a better setup. We'll have to find an excuse in a minute. Someone will make a mistake and we'll capitalise on it, don't worry. Easy does it. See, I really like the front end feeling AC. You can really subtly feel when the fronts are gripping or not. Not in like when you're wildly out of control, but you know, if you're just pushing a little bit too hard or not enough. Whoops. AstroTurfed. car stuck in a bit of understeer through that. That's pretty good. AC for 25 quid is a bargain. Can't really go wrong with that. So I think on PC as well, you get really good sales. I always say to people that buy games consoles, they're like, oh, a PC is too expensive. And it's like, yeah, no, it is a lot of money up front. But you can buy a really good PC these days for 550 quid. And once you've got that, the games are really cheap. So in the long run, it kind of works out. He's not used to driving in the dry. That's a good excuse. I'm driving pretty close to the limit of what we've got at the moment. Maybe I should have done some setup tweaking. Nah, it's probably different racing lines I can take. But we're getting PBs. For me. It's a good time. Okay, a little bit wide out of that. A touch wide. Maybe a couple of meters wide. This is a corner I'm not braking late enough into, so we can try and do that. Oh, there we go again. Get a Kunos penalty if we're not careful. Oh, there's been a yellow flag. Here we go. Opportunity to get a place. That'd be nice. Maybe then he just skidded there. Oh, there's some skid marks there. They obviously went a bit wide into that. Larry B. Oh, we're 2/10 up. I can be a lot heavier on my brakes than I have been. The ABS is a lot more forgiving in AC than it is in Project Cars 2. The cars seem to lock up in Project Cars 2 on the ABS. Just remember to actually use the brake a lot more in AC. Balance the car through really nicely. That's probably where we've been losing a second or so per lap because I'm braking way too gingerly. Lesson learned. And I'm getting on the throttle too late. Got so much traction control. Let's try braking a bit later down here. Two-tenths up. Oh no, it's gone. So timid around this corner as well. These are really fun corners because you have to get the braking right and then you feel on the brake the load of the car change, which is just enough to navigate it into the corners. It's a shame that we're sort of stuck in this death zone here. We're 7 seconds ahead of the car behind us, 8 seconds ahead of the car in front, behind the car in front. No man's land. Doesn't seem the cars in front are battling too hard to be slowing themselves down. Often what tends to happen is the guy in front, or the guys in front will be battling, especially when you get to the last sort of 3 or so laps, and that bunches them up more. Sausage! Whoa. Made a bit of a mess of that. At least the sun's shining. There's the sausage again, and we're catching. I can see a car. Don't know if we're going to do it enough. They seem closer visually. Timing doesn't seem closer, but they look closer. It's their 90s DTM car that's in the DLC. Actually, I think it's in the core game, you know. Oh, we are gaining half a second on him a lap. Especially if we do that. Look at that! Half a second. We were doing something fundamentally wrong. Could have done with working that out about 5 minutes ago. Oh my god, look at that, the difference in time from doing those corners a touch better. We're almost a second up from our best lap, bloody hell. At least we get a new PB out of this. Sausage. Sausage. Oh dear. We smacked that sausage. We went full insertion on that sausage. You don't want to do that. Right, we're half a second down now. You're meant to be tickling sausages, not slapping them. Driver 61 does track guys. Yeah, track guys don't help me because I mean they are useful to see what people do, but I find I just have to put ultimately I just have to put the laps in and feel it out, and then it starts to click. I mean, I can watch a lap and I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's the approach. But it'll still take me the same amount of time to put the laps in to be able to just do it without thinking. It's just the curse of being a game of muscle. Whoop! That's a bit sideways through there. It takes me about 7 hours to get competitive with a track. I'm just hot lapping. I'm not a fast learner. Seven hours with one car and a single track, and then we'll get up to pace. Assuming we've got a good setup as well. Slap that hard sausage, SWA Gaming. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Have we got? Who are we catching? Ah, we're not. Oh, we might be. Got one more lap. Maybe there'll be a big pile up and we'll capitalise on it, but I don't think it's likely. Hi, Jeff Bieber. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We can cut that T1 a lot more by throwing it in a bit more. There, a bit of a tickle. Oh, we got a car behind us. He's caught us. Eero Ottonen is coming for more. We're going to have to hold off Eero Ottonen. Look at him. I squeezed him like a lemon there. It was a bit cheeky, but I thought we're not going to have the same thing happen that happened last time. Oh, okay, still there. I thought I took him out there. We've got to hold on to 9th. No, Aeronautin, and you shall not pass the Great Wall of Gamer Muscle today. Tension. Whoops, not do that whilst we're going into these corners here. He's right on our tail. If you think about it, doing the reverse button is the equivalent of just rotating your head immediately. Whoa! That makes you really dizzy. I'm going to stay on the inside here. I think it's very hard to overtake on the outside of this corner. Especially if I... Oh dear, I just totally took him out. Do you think we can get him back on the start-finish line? Let's see. Oh no! Aeronautin, even though I totally punted him off the circuit, he deserved it. I did smash him off the track. Nice driving. Josh the Boss is 6th. Oh, Antoine Jacquet didn't win. Oh well, it was a nice try. That was the last race of the season. We're going to go to DTM next. It was a chilled out. That was our warm-up race. It wasn't too bad. Total punch shunt there. Oh dear. Illegal overtake complaint. Oh, he did overtake on the grass, but that was probably because I put my car in his door. Complaint to Charlie. If I was Sebastian Vettel, I'd be waving my fingers at him. Oh dear. Well, there you go. Let's have a look at the final results then for Sim Racing System. They're not in Assetto Corsa. I don't think the dentist has AC. He's programmed purely for Project Cars 2. Okay. So, the results are... Let's check the standings. El Standos. Well, we finished in 25th. That's all that matters. Sebastian Brunier. Oh, what, this hasn't updated. Has Sebastian held on to his victory, or has Bernd Hebelson taken it back, or has Antoine Jacquet taken the position? We'll have to see. We'll have to wait for this to update. Take your time, Sim Racing System. The database has to be updated. The server has to finish. Such advanced AI. So far, the only person to beat Tom the Dentist is the Highway Robberman guy and Mr. Buttonbox. There we go. Oh, Sebastian Brunier has pipped Bernd Hebelson and takes the victory for the Game of Muscle Championship. Well done, Sebastian Brunier. Hope you're happy with yourself. Bernd Hebelson, 2nd place. That's all right. It's an okay finish. And Antoine Jacquet in 3rd, the crafty French guy. Not bad results. So hopefully, Josh the Boss, he did 3 races and managed to come 5th. What a legend! He won the last race as well. He's a machine. Forsario came last. Oh well. Well done, Sebastian. You win the Pride, and I'm putting a hot lady in the post. So make sure you check your boxes, otherwise you'll suffocate. My race was quite good. It was just chilled out. There was no one really around me. I was kind of just driving by myself, really. It was like a countryside drive, but the sun was out, and I had the wind blowing in my hair. I was thinking of sandwiches and cups of tea. It was a good time. I think it's time, guys, to load up the old Forsingtons for the first time and see what the Forthingtons is like. Let's have a look. Let's get this set up. I'm going to stop this stream here and start a new one. So those of you that don't like Forza can all just go and actually do something productive with your evening. But those of you that want to stick around for the banter, I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. I just need to do a new thumbnail. And we'll be back for some Forza. And then later on I think we'll play some Project Cars 2. So, see you guys in a minute. Thanks for watching. Thanks for racing in Assetto Corsa. We'll be right back after this commercial break.